By now, in the Kung Fu Panda storyline, Po is happy, and he's with Mr. Ping, and they have this great relationship, and he's become this Kung Fu master, and he's expected to now increase his responsibility. And in the magical world, there is a demon that is really gathering the energies of all these other masters and planning to come out of the mystical world and into the real world and take over, unbeknownst to anybody, really. My character, Lee, who is Po's real father, makes his way, he's on a trek to find his son, and he finds him. They're overjoyed about this reconnection. First, Po hasn't seen other pandas in a long, long time, so it's like, who is this guy? And then when he realizes the relationship, he's just amazed that this happened and excited. Of course, Mr. Ping, his adopted father, is threatened by this. So right away you have these two dads who are vying for the affection of their son, and that's the primary emotional thrust throughout the story. So they find each other, they have this instant bond, but Mr. Ping is upset about this idea of losing his relationship with his adopted son. And Lee wants Po to be where he truly belongs, with other pandas in the secret panda village. Well, I can't really tell you too much about the secret panda village because it's secret. It's in a very remote place. It's very difficult to get to, but it is Shangri-La. Po is feeling guilty and needs and wants to have this reconnection, and for the first time in his life, he sees all these other pandas that are just like him and cousins, and he feels a bigger sense of family. Kung Fu Panda 3 explores the areas of the differences between the family you make and the family you come from, and the bonds of both of them, and the allure, the innate lure of the ones that you were born into, and yet the value of the family that you make. And the great thing about this film is that it doesn't devalue either one. It holds them both up to the light and says, you know what? They're both vitally important for a fully experienced life. And at the end, they all blend into one, and it becomes a family of a society that surrounds Po, and that Po gives them all energy and power and love and friendship. Lee has a tremendous influence on Po. He is going to teach him the most advanced process of applying qi that Po needs to know in order to become fully realized as the master, that he's kind of reluctant to take on that responsibility. The scene that I personally enjoyed the most was the emotional one about talking about Po's mother and how much Lee loved and missed this woman, this great, wonderful woman who sacrificed her life for her son's life. The evil entity is raiding the village and taking over the chi of all these, the lioness and the praying mantis and all the other characters, and taking all their chi, all their power, and is getting more and more powerful by doing that, and pretty soon could become unstoppable. The quality of storytelling, and it is truly important to me that I wanted to see how they handle it, how DreamWorks and the writers and directors handled the storytelling process through those first two. And quite frankly, if I didn't like those two movies, I would have turned down this one. I think when you see the little videos, when in most every animation project, certainly with Madagascar, and you see it with Kung Fu Panda, they videotape the actor. It helps the animators with the facial construct because they see the actors going through it. And I don't think an actor can actually read these lines and say it just with a blank face. You have to act it out. You have to commit completely to these characters. It's really no different from doing it live action. You're committing to those characters. But it's a challenge because you have to convey the message only through your voice, because that's all they see. But the animators help out tremendously because they see the video of the actors in their recording session, and they use when I go, "I don't care," and then they'll make the face just like that, because, well, obviously it worked. If that was the take they liked, let's make that face, and they'll freeze frame. And you actually do. When I saw the film, I looked and I said, oh, there's facial expressions that Lee makes that I make. And I'm a little thinner than Lee is. Improvisation is encouraged, and sometimes you'll find some of the best material out of that, where you go off, you read what it says in the script, and you read that a few times, you get a feel for it. But then going off, and you never know what's going to happen. The world of animation is a different process from live action, but the storytelling is no different. They want to get the story right, because that is the most important element in all of storytelling, period, whether it's animated or live action. If you're interested in these stories, if you are invested in these characters, you'll follow them, you'll root for them. You don't have to tell a highly sophisticated story to be proud of it. A story that can reach down and touch the hearts of little kids is a valuable story. And if you can transcend that age and stretch that age from 6, 7, 8 years old up to 60, 68 years old, then you've done a wonderful job, because that's a wide span to be able to entertain that whole group throughout the course of a movie. It's a sweet story, and one that I think even young kids can get a sense of, and in an entertaining way. So it's not a message that is hammered over their heads, but something that just we think will absorb into their little hearts and minds.